Trump and his followers, the crazy bastards, are out to kill as many Americans as possible. I don't know if that is their direct objective, but it is the result of Trump policies, and it's going to get much worse. Just about every indicator that I've seen so far, whether it comes from Robert Reich, if it comes from Fauci, if it comes from independent, truly independent modelers of this virus, and the policies that Trump and these fucking lunatics with the guns, what they're advocating, we are going to see a doubling, maybe a tripling of the number of deaths that we have right now. So I think we all need to be prepared for that. As far as this economy is concerned, I realize the horrible state that we're in. And part of that is because of the leadership that we've had over the past 40 years, 50 years, the economic leadership, that the Democrat and Republican, that has just taken the average worker and just beat the fuck out of him or her. I mean, seriously, just made average workers' life miserable with the gig economy and the governors of all these southern states, these Confederate dumb son of a bitch racists who wouldn't allow the expansion of the Affordable Care Act into the South. All of this has worked together to put American workers in a position of vulnerability that is now becoming completely evident as to what the American workforce, and it doesn't make any difference what level of pay. I'm not talking about executive pay. I'm not talking about these rapist son of a bitches that run the hedge funds and they're in a class by themselves, a class that should be fumigated. But I'm talking about people who actually work for a living, and how the entire working class, the middle class, all of us have just been fucked royally. And whether or not we're going to allow this to continue, I hope not. I hope that we don't. But in order to change it, it's going to get bloody. It's going to get bloody. It's going to get violent. Not because those of us who are advocating change want it to be bloody and violent. We don't. We advocate peaceful change. But with Trump at the helm, and these dickless wonders, these crazy fuckers with their gloves with the fingers missing, and what the fuck is up with that? And their beards and their great big bloated bellies, and then the goddamn cannons that they wear around their midsection, around their necks. What the fuck is wrong with you people? My God, what a bunch of whatever. Those are the ones who are going to make the change that is coming bloody, unnecessarily bloody. It's going to be nasty. It's going to be violent. This is our future. Disease, economic chaos, and violence. You do understand this is coming, do you not? And what I am feeling this anxiety about now is the leader of my country. Yes, he's a fucking psychopath. He's a madman. He's a coward. He's a bullshit artist. He's everything negative you can say. But he has millions of kindred spirits in this country who are also liars, cheaters, bullshit artists, prone to violence, sad sack motherfuckers who couldn't put common sense in their own heads if somebody gave them a goddamn shovel. And those are the people that Trump is relying on to commit these acts of violence. So, when I say we are heading for violence, that's what I'm talking about. These son of a bitches are not going to let it go by. These right-wing, neo-Nazi, Confederate flag-waving motherfuckers with their goddamn cannons strapped around their bodies, they're not going to let this go by. This is what these cowardly sons of bitches have been waiting for. So what are we going to do about it? I don't know at this point. I don't know. But I really do think it's coming. But then again, I thought the Cuban Missile Crisis was going to bring something hideous. I was wrong then. I hope that, 60 years later, whatever it's been, I hope I'm wrong this time. And again, this is just in my little tiny, conscious, minuscule, non-existent little nano point of awareness in the entire universe where I live. Doesn't affect you or anybody else. You have your own little dot of existence to deal with, right? Anyway, right now, a model put together by the criminal administration running this country, believe it or not, projects the model itself, put together by the gangster administration, projects a rise in coronavirus cases and deaths in the weeks ahead, so that by the time we get to June 1st, this model, it's an internal document obtained by the New York Times, this model shows up to 3,000 deaths a day. Right now, over the past week, about 2,000 Americans died per day, according to a study from Johns Hopkins University. So the criminal administration model projects a 50% increase in deaths within a month, less than a month, by June 1st. And a spokeswoman for the gangster White House said in a statement that that document, a series of documents obtained by the New York Times, had not been seen by the coronavirus task force. Really? Well, isn't that interesting? Deputy White House Press Secretary Judd Deere said, quote, "This is not a White House document, nor has it been presented to the coronavirus task force or gone through interagency vetting. This data is not, these data are not, but never mind. This data is not reflective of any of the modeling done by the task force or data that the task force has analyzed. The president's phased guideline," this is continuing the statement from the geek in the speaking for the gangster, "the president's phased guidelines to open up America again are you ready, scientific driven that the top health and infectious disease experts in the federal government agreed with. The health of the American people remains President Trump's top priority and will continue." Yeah, the guy's gagging on bullshit. "Will continue as we monitor the efforts by states to ease restrictions." Of course, that's all bullshit. A source close to the coronavirus task force said some members of that task force have seen the projections and that the estimate should be taken seriously. So, what these projections obtained by the New York Times, what they show, what they make clear, is that these reopenings by these various states come with fatal risks and consequences. People are going to fucking die. Others are going to get sick and recover, but in that process, they will spread the disease even further, maybe to grandma or grandpa or baby Louise or somebody, and they will die. Good God. CNN's senior medical correspondent Elizabeth Cohen said, quote, "It's simple logic when you tell people, hey, you can go to bars, you can go to get your nails done, you can go to a restaurant. Those numbers of sickness and death are going to go up." End quote. Of course. But Trump doesn't care about this. Trump doesn't give a shit. Trump knows people are going to die. He doesn't fucking care. He's thinking about his reelection campaign and how, well, he's got to get the economy open. He's got to get people, out there getting sick and dying. Hey, Truth Seekers, Mike Malloy here. While you're sheltering in place and practicing safe social behavior, probably catching up on the Malloy cast, remember, we have a new weekly program just for our patron supporters. There are other thank you gifts for your support. Remember, visit MikeMalloy.com and click on the big patron link on the main page. You can't miss it, and we can't do without you.